Okay, so we're down in the lab again. Those of you who were with us with the overhead paging and door boxes, it's the same setup. It's similar to what we'd see at a customer site. But here we're going to talk about the DVL products. I have two for show here. We have the 2-port model, which is either the 702. In this case, it's the 802. As you can see, we've got the digital input in, right, or a patch cord in that'll connect to the customer switch. We have a power connector because every DVL product needs AC power. And we have two possible analog outputs. You have line 1 and line 2. Okay, so the larger modular input would connect to the customer switch. The tech would program this thing with his laptop, and then if everything is configured right on the back end, he should have analog or some sort of dial tone coming out of here, depending on the usage of it. If it's overhead paging or door boxes, it'll have an analog extension, right? So he should be able to go off hook with his butt set by connected to one of these ports and call any extension number, and that should work. If it's enhanced dial tone or taking the place of a fax machine or a postage machine, he should get a 10-digit number by testing that. He should be able to call out to the outside world. Okay, so that's that. Here, same products, all Grand Stream. This one being an 8-port model. So, but on this one, we have two inputs. We have a WAN and a LAN. A WAN is what connects to the switch, right? And the LAN is what the tech would connect to with his laptop to program this thing. With the 2-port model, there is no direct connect for his laptop. He's got to grab the IP off that. There's a way of doing that with his butt set. He'll get that IP, and then he'll telnet into it basically from another port on the switch. So with this one, he has a direct connect to it. With the information provided, the silhouette server, that address, and so forth, he'll program the DVL product for that. So it talks to our network, and it talks to the right SIL server, and it recognizes what tenant it's programmed on, what tenant you guys have it configured as. And if all that, what we call quote-unquote back-end work is done and done right, he or she should be able to test dial tones on any of these ports. If it's configured for 6, so we'll get 6 dial tones, and so forth. Any questions? It's DVL, it's pretty straightforward. A lot of it is upon the tech to program it right. That's really it, to be honest with you guys. There's not much to it. One thing, another point of reference, I guess, would help you guys know. A lot of times with these, when you're getting DVL orders, we're converted from traditional POTS lines, right, to our DVL product. Know that traditional POTS lines are normally connected to a block like this, what we call an RJ21X or 66 block, you'll hear, all right? So this is where Verizon demarks all their POTS lines. So they're on a block like this, and then cross-connect with cross-connect wire to their PBX. If they're converting from traditional POTS lines to a DVL product, their output is now going to be these modular interfaces. So their PBX vendor, who's going to make those cross-connects from here to here, needs to know that it's going to be modular. So he has to, with a tool, a special tool, put these little modular heads on each of his cross-connects going through PBX. That sometimes throws them off. We just want to give him a little fair warning that we are using a DVL product and he'd have to do it, he or she would have to do that. So they can bring those tips with them. Those vendors carry them with them. If they don't, they're consumables at a Home Depot or Lowe's that are in every town, pretty much. That's really it.
The same thing with like overhead pacing. You always want to keep one port open on the Grand Stream.
Yeah, yep. You always want to keep. So there's a 2-port one, but we really have 1 port available to us. So if you remember with the overhead paging and the door box, we have them configured both onto this 8-port Grand Stream, which is fine. If we didn't have this available to us and all we have is this, we would use 2 of them, one for the overhead paging and one for the door box. Keep in mind that every DVL product you have needs a connection to the switch. So if you're going to put, I've seen orders where, for us to install 4 of these out there, we need 4 switch ports available to us. We also need 4 AC outlets available to us. So if we're coming here, as you can see, sometimes we don't have that available to us. We don't have so techs don't carry power strips or power units, so just keep that in mind.
Going back to the EDT, I just want to touch on this. Remember how we were talking before about how like the 702 can do one EDT line. The 704 can do, is it 704? It's can do two. You can do two EDT lines? Or
Three. We'll put three on there. We always want to go one back as a rule of thumb.
But as far as fax lines are concerned,
Three.
no. Frank released, yeah, Frank released something to us that it was either one or two.
On a 4-port one?
On a 4-port, yes. It's not until you hit the 8-port grand stream that you can start stacking fax lines.
Okay.
So I did blast something out. Honestly, I don't remember off the top of my head. I would have to go back to the email I sent, and I would definitely suggest you go back to my tidbits and wisdom as well.
All right, I'll talk to Frank because that word didn't get down to the field. We're putting 3 fax lines on.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so evidently stacking the fax lines because of the signaling and the availability that the
Right. Remember that when you're dealing with fax lines, when you're in the cloud, you're dealing with bandwidth. So faxes, they take up bandwidth. So if you have a fax machine sending out a 30-page fax, that's going to tie up a lot here. Which is why we always want to go one back, 2 back.
yeah. I think it might be one for a 702 only. One for a 704 with additional voice lines only. And you
Okay, so
can't
one
start
fax.
stacking them until the 8th.
Okay.
But I would revisit my tidbits and wisdom email I sent. We'll check on the wiki if you can't find the email itself. The wiki has my email blast. Have you ever seen that?
You ever seen the wiki? Yes.
Yeah, you just have the email now.
I never looked for them. Today I actually did, but I couldn't find one. Today actually, but I found about the calling about XO and setting up with I couldn't find anything about on the wiki. About setting up to get an XO circuit turned up. About setting up a
Off-net circuit. Those are what we
so it's under off-net.
Off-net, yeah. You search off-net circuit, you should find it. And there's a whole section that'll give you each carrier by carrier. Also, test and accept should be burying that in their test and accept notes. Who to call, who to schedule with. Yeah. So when the test and accept test is closed out, check their notes, and all that information should be there for you.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
That's all I have, unless you have any other questions.
Any other questions, guys?
Hi, boss. Leanne here. I do have a question.
Yes.
Because we do a lot of conversions here with regard to, let's say POTS to DVL. And previously, we did encounter a lot of issues when it comes to after the conversion, and then upon testing, the lines doesn't work. So we actually resort to having those converted POTS lines back to POTS. So I just wanted to ask, especially to Dan, if what would be like the possible causes or the factors that create those kinds of issue, like if we can put in the proper expectation to the customer while we're coordinating the order, or is it still happening now, or with regard to the new adapters that we are providing?
Okay, that's a good question. So remember that the DVL product, regardless of what model you're using, is trying to get out to the cloud. So it's communicating with it's going through the cloud to communicate with our server. So just like you would do for a bring your own bandwidth type, or what we call telework or a flex install, we need ports open on the firewall. The same would apply for a DVL product. So if it wasn't working, chances are that there was something on the customer's network that wasn't allowing the voice traffic or the call traffic to get through. One of the key words or something you may want to alert to the vendor, as well as the typical ports that we open up for our flex or our phone service, is SIP ALG. That has to be turned on our network. most IT vendors would recognize that and be able to turn that on for you. But that's, that's probably where you were at with that. It's probably what was happening. There was something on that network that was blocking that traffic. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions? All right. I think we're good. I thank you guys for your time.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dan.